Splashcreen. Wake up, motherfucker.
Hello, what's up? All right, so late night stream. Let's finish off what I started today. All right, I'm gonna play that options video, wrap it up. Okay, let's look at what's going on in the markets. All right, let's see what's up here. Look, we can see what's gonna happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's gonna happen tomorrow, honestly. All right, let's see. Nope, not that. All right, let's look at what the futures are saying. All righty, let's go wrap it up. All right. There was a bunch of news that came through into the close and about Iran. Oh, a lot of tweets, apparently. Apparently bad news, guys. The Saudis and Kuwaitis are allowing the US to use their air bases again. So operation, what the hell is the operation name? I have no idea what the operation name is. Who cares? Operation Iran Part 2, Part 3. Anyhow, I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. But with the overnight markets, it looks like the NASDAQ is recovering. Doesn't look like it's going to crash. I don't know what's going to happen after the markets, though. All right, we're going to have to wait maybe 4 hours before the market opens. We're going to have a taco, and all of a sudden we're green again in the morning. So that's it. Can't do anything. Or maybe we'll just crash. I don't know. It's the weekend. Fuck. BS. Whole bunch of BS. It'll never end. This will never end. What's going on with those Navy ships? Who knows? Who cares, actually? As long as we keep this whole game of taco or not taco, this market can keep on going up, man. Why not? That's it. Restless night. No. I got to finish that whole options thing. If I finish it up, I won't need to show up tomorrow because I don't know what's going on tomorrow, right? Maybe it's nothing important tomorrow. And the hantavirus stuff is kicking off anyway. So maybe there'll be a hantavirus lockdown pretty soon. Can't wait for that hantavirus scare. Keep going, baby. Yeah, that's probably good for the markets. It keeps people shorting the markets. It creates a lot of fuel. So Martin Shkreli shorting like semiconductors now. You got Michael Burry. They all want to short the top. There will be no top. It'll just keep on going up like this. Oh, Iran, blah, 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 pullback. Taco, pump. So every time there's a little pullback, it creates fuel for a larger push up. You know what I mean? It's being manipulated quite well. So this allows the market to keep moving up without any real news. There's nothing changing, right? There's no real news. Earnings is over. We could just pump up on AI forever. So yeah, maybe till July we'll get to a top so we can keep making money. All right. That's it. Moderna. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. Moderna this morning was like pre-market, 9% or something? It was crazy. But then it all gave it away by the open. So I don't know what's happening with that. Maybe we'll see another pump tomorrow or not. So Moderna. We'll see about that. But if you look here, look at the futures. You see this? It's very regular now, right? Very regular. Very weak pullbacks, pump back up. Very weak pullbacks, pump back up, which is what you want to see. So I think we can keep playing this game as long as Trump wants to keep doing this. Then we're gonna keep pumping up the market. This is the S&P. The S&P looks weaker, right? S&P definitely looks weaker, but the Nasdaq is a lot more structured here. Very happy. So I think we gotta keep pushing on HUT. So next week we'll have NBIS earnings. NBIS will be the last one, I guess, to report earnings. This is another potential AI infrastructure one. So, gotta wait for earnings though. What's this one? Yeah, Wednesday. Okay. AOI reported earnings. It's down. So the whole optical space is probably not going to help us anymore. So optical is probably out. I don't know if memory is going to continue up anymore either. If memory's out, optical's out, then Martin Shkreli will be fine because Martin Shkreli only shorted SanDisk, Micron, and I guess Western Digital, the 3 memory ones. Yeah. Friday tweets leads to Taco Tuesday. Like, yeah. Probably have to wait for Taco Tuesday again. Hutton Raspberry, I want my money back. Hey, don't worry about it. I think we're gonna go back up. So, yeah, I don't think you should be worried. I think we should be fine. Yeah, because I ran last I saw was like what 8%, 9%. So it pumped up for a bit, and then all the Iran stuff happened. But I don't know. Maybe people just wanted to sell. It's the afternoon, right? It's not the morning. It's not a morning's earning, and it's before like the weekend too. So probably people want to get out. So that might not mean anything. Although some people on Twitter were like, "Oh yeah, this company's a scam. This company's a scam." I don't know if it's a scam. Who cares if it's a scam? Honestly, who cares? Come on, you guys are crazy. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still goofing off here. Bitcoin's not doing anything. Shoot. Oh, we're gonna take some time. So I'm gonna play this Bitcoin video for you guys. So what's the target for Bitcoin? 120,000. Let's see. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting 100K, something like that. Something dumb. It's gonna happen for sure now with all this games. All right, let's see. Blah 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 blah. Okay.
This is what we had in Google in 2024, 2025. Look at how we're traveling to the upside. We come to the level, we're absorbing at the level, and then after that, supply is weaker. We see supply weakness in this area right here, where we have the reaction upsloping and supply is going down. So right into the all-time high. That creates the gap, the strength out of that, and continuation. So this is again weaker, and I put here a breakout to the all-time high by January 27. I was just calculating the timing of it, so it came up to January. It could be that it's going to take more time to the all-time high, but ultimately, Bruce, I think that we are still traveling around this area right here.
Such a good analog. Wow. I really do have analog envy. And let me just say that, Ramon, we worked on a swing count here around 0.11, that whole structure. But how about the idea that Google was this whole structure all the way across was a big here around 0.11, that whole.
All right, let me go back a bit. Okay, so okay, take a screenshot of this. They're trying to make an analog between Google and what Bitcoin is about to do, okay? Looking at the Bitcoin chart over here to the right compared to the Google chart to the left. Okay.
Analog envy. And let me just say that, Ramon, we worked on a swing count down here around 0.11, that whole structure. But how about the idea that Google was this whole structure all the way across was a big count, a reaccumulation count? Yeah, and maybe that is what the way that Bitcoin needs to be looked at, is actually to build a point and figure count, maybe use 5-box method or bigger scaling to a countable structure to have a look to see whether or not this could be a reaccumulation count. So just the count on the right, the bottom one is a.
Okay. Let me get back a little bit. Let's play. So take a screenshot of this. The thing to the right of you is a point and figure. So they have a new target here. I don't know if you can see it. So if you got to go to 1080p, okay, you got to get to 1080p and then just zoom in. All right.
To get all of this into a countable structure to have a look to see whether or not this could be a reaccumulation count. So just the count on the right, the bottom one is a 1-box method. So it's a little more granular on a little bit like looking at a daily bar chart versus a weekly. But yeah, and that's a beautiful redistribution right there. But then you can see in the yellow shaded area that I took took us up to 11,937. 127, so call it 120,000, and that's the high count objective of the range, and using ATR scaling. And then what I did, Ramon, is on the top one, 3-box method, and I rounded that out to 2,000 scaling. Still based on the ATR, I just rounded down to the whole number. And interestingly, look what it does. It goes right to 120,000. So the two.
All right. So 120,000 Bitcoin, right? Oh, yes. I don't know. I don't know if it can do it this summer. If it could do it this summer, great. Man, we got my hut. Oh man, hut's gonna go to $1,000 a share. I don't care. No, it's not gonna go to 1,000, but yeah, you know what I mean. Let's see how crazy things get. All right, let's see how crazy things will get.
Counts coincide with each other.
Let's play this. Let's play this one. Okay. Lilly. Eli Lilly. Did it report earnings already or not? I don't even remember. I think it did. Let's see how that one's doing. Okay, Eli Lilly. All right, let me look at it. Okay. Still in this kind of like dancing on top of this range. Might be okay. I think this is one of the stronger healthcare names. Yeah, sure, but okay, I'm back. No, I wasn't muted. I got kicked out. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a bad night for StreamYards. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how long I last on this one. I think it's just 8:30 in my time. I don't know. All right. No, I don't pay for that shit. John Galt pays for that, so that's why I use it. I mean, if he didn't pay, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't pay for this trash. Holy shit! I already set up my StreamYards the way I want to, so it's like I might as well use it. Holy fuck, I don't care. But yeah, if I had to pay for this, hell no. Hell no. And like Universal Jones is like grandfathered in. Like he's not gonna leave it because he gets like a discount price that he's gonna pay forever. So I don't think he's gonna leave it, no matter how bad it is. I mean, you already see like from Jeremy's streams and stuff. I told him to use the app. If he doesn't use the app, he's in trouble, right? And then I have to use desktop. I don't have an app over here. That's why I said like StreamYard should just. Oh my god, if you're gonna go through a browser and you're not gonna do this, and you're gonna keep having these bugs, and you're not gonna fix these bugs, like I don't understand. I really don't understand the point of paying money for something that you can't fix the bug. So after they completed their buyout or whatever, crap, waste of time, man. Really waste of time. Doesn't Ava use StreamYards? She went to Streamlabs for a while because she didn't want to pay, but then she went back to StreamYards. Yeah. Paro was like, no, he was complaining because Streamlabs, but now Paro is complaining about StreamYards. Now he wants to go to Streamlabs. It's like, bro, you were complaining about Streamlabs. Now you want to go to Streamlabs? Whatever, man. I mean, everybody should just learn how to use OBS at this point because it's just stupid. But the problem is if you use OBS, okay, yeah, there's a learning curve. And then number two, it's like how you bring up people on panel, right? You either do Dead Man's way, where you do VCs through that, or yeah, you have to use Discord, or you got to figure out another way to put people on panel. That's the only benefit, really. Outside of that, I don't see much benefit of using StreamYards. Like you can easily do what I'm doing here without a panel, right, on OBS. But I think the benefit is also the YouTube integration, because look at this, right? Like if I have to put up chats, I'm gonna have to get a plugin to do like, okay, if I multi-stream to Kick and other people, and then there's different channels, right? YouTube channels, and everybody's like chatting. I can put them all up at once. Yeah, that integration is probably something that not every app will have. And then if Jeremy does like his whole like IRL thing, yeah, it has to be, he can't use StreamYards. You got to use Prism. Prism is the best one on the mobile but there's better than Prism though. Like, yeah, you can do IRL Pro on Android or Moblin on iOS, but then you got to pay money now too, right? I think Prism increased their prices for subscription and they took away features. All these dumb things require you to pay. I mean, there's OBS on the phone too, but I don't know how well that works for IRL. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, Virgin Island internet, yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, so what can you do? But I think, yeah, he's getting hit because he has to pay money. He doesn't like that. And I don't know what other issue he's having, but that's it. Chloe puked again. Yeah, I mean, what can you do with that one? I don't know. Anytime there's news, there's going to be news with either ChatGPT or something else. Fuck. I think Oracle went down too. It's probably some ChatGPT thing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Half the time it's just noise, man. So anyway, for healthcare, like, yeah, you can wait. There's no rush to get back into this. I mean, I do like the stock, but yeah, there's a better time to play this thing because there's no trend, right? It's not going to make a new trend anytime soon. Okay. Like if you look at XLV, the total healthcare space, you see this? Yeah, we're not ready yet. If you look at just the biotechs, however, so the more risky, smaller names of healthcare, they're looking okay. They're still trying, but we're not we're not there yet. Oh man, let me put the 75-minute chart for you. Yeah, we're not there yet. Okay, we're not there yet. If this thing starts running up, then yeah, sure, Moderna will have an easier time going up. No problem. No problem with that. So don't worry about that stuff. Yeah. All right. Play another video for you. All right. You got your Bitcoin, right? Maybe 120. Now, let's see. High momentum. Okay.
Just acknowledge the immediate background, which is extremely super strong. Diminishing volume, you say, okay, great. If volume is diminishing, you have this type of bars. What does it tell you about the strength of the trend? Pretty strong. Extension, then we see again the test that is here. It's upsloping. We see not necessarily a great impulse emergence of the price above the resistance, but the test is okay. It still has some elements of selling coming in behind the spike, but demand absorbs it, and immediately the follow through is to the upside. And today, gap overnight, and then we have another expansion here. So we could be potentially close to the end of this swing. It could be a possibility. But usually when we start like this and we continue like this, that probably could have a little bit more of the continuation. So Bruce, I'm thinking, but I still don't quite understand. I want to ask you this question. Why did you state that the rally is going to continue until the military actions or whatever the blockage, the conflict is still there?
I just think that the really big traders like the uncertainty. I think the uncertainty also discredit, and it tends to have people coming in slowly, which is possibly a big part of the reason that volume is the uncertainty. I think the uncertainty traders like the uncertainty. I think the uncertainty also discourages people from participating in the uptrend, and it tends to have people coming in slowly, which is possibly a big part of the reason that volume has been somewhat muted. Is
Yep, it's gonna be one of those nights, I guess. I don't know. Is everybody using StreamYards right now? Probably, huh? But I thought East Coast, it would be people would be going to sleep, or at least like it's Thursday night. Shouldn't they be going out partying or something? What the fuck, man? Shit, stupid. Anyhow, there you go. Okay, try it again.
Since inception.
Oh my gosh, since inception.
Oh, okay. This is a different one. My bad. We're gonna have to play a different one.
There's no monthly bar like this on the chart. since inception.
Oh my gosh, since inception. Wow.
It's like a breakout after we spend, 5 months sideways, 6 months, and then this bar. Look what kind of move we had afterwards. If this holds, this could be pretty big.
Yeah, the way how it overcomes this last down bar. We don't have it here. We don't have it here.
We don't have it nowhere. This is a reversal like this, but not as strong, I would say.
Yeah, well,
So yeah, this could be major if it holds again, right?
these are the type of charts that institutions look at. This type of time frame, like monthly. And Anatol, I'm so happy that you're showing this to us.
Yeah, and even on the downside, right? I was looking on the downside as well. In this area, we had something in 2008, right? That crash, but you always have a follow through, and you have the move in the direction, right? So you have something here of the same magnitude. So yeah, I think it's pretty significant, this bar. Yeah, and even on
So this is a monthly chart. So every candle is a month.
like
Okay. And the reversal we just had in April from the red bar in March, is pretty strong. I mean, it's undeniably strong. Unless somehow this month reverses it and we have a big red bar this month, I don't think so. Or is there going to be a big red bar coming along in August, July, August, or September? We'll have to see. But if we hold the majority, of this move, because we're still early in May. If May is like another big green bar, right? We got 2 green bars back to back. Huge. All right. This thing could be a big bubble right now. And then we drop, but we don't overcome anything. Then, dude. Yeah, we are going to have a bubble then. We pretty much are. This it's pretty rare, right? To have such a strong bar after a green bar after a drop like we saw. It's like a V bottom type of move. Then I would say yeah, get ready, man. Get ready. I think we have to assume that 1999 is coming back next year, and that'll be it. That'll be your last chance to make money. If you miss COVID, if you missed the tariff bottom last year, then you better catch the next bottom, because that'll be your last chance to make enough money to retire, essentially. I mean, I'm already retired, so I mean, you guys, if you miss these moves, it's over. You are going to be a wage slave for the rest of your life. And then you're gonna have to worry about AI. I'm dead serious. I'm not even really joking with you right now. This is something where you are going to have to realize that you have these opportunities right now to get out. You better, yeah, you better take it.
Just acknowledge the immediate background, which is extremely super strong. Diminishing volume, you say, okay, great. If volume is diminishing and you have this type of bars, what does it tell you about the strength of the trend? Pretty strong. Extension, then we see again the test that is here. It's upsloping. We see not necessarily a great impulse emergence of the price above the resistance, but the test is okay. It still has some elements of selling coming in behind the spike, but demand absorbs it, and immediately the follow through is to the upside. And today, gap overnight, and then we have another expansion here. So we could be potentially close to the end of this swing. It could be a possibility. But usually when we start like this and we continue like this, that probably could have a little bit more of the continuation. So, Bruce, I'm thinking, but I still don't quite understand. I want to ask you this question. Why did you state that the rally is going to continue until the military actions or whatever the blockage, the conflict is still there?
I just think that the really big traders like the uncertainty. I think the uncertainty also discourages people from participating in the uptrend. And it tends to have people coming in slowly, which is possibly a big part of the reason that volume has been somewhat muted, is because some of the people that are a little reluctant to get into this market are probably big institutions. I think that there's going to come a point where there's going to be this realization that this thing is going to get resolved. And so sometimes markets peak on good news.
Okay. You understand what he said there? He basically said, like, we like uncertainty. Uncertainty keeps this market going up. Once we are over with Iran, that's when the market starts going down. Because as long as people are worried that it's going to stop going up, you know, it's over. Because people are just slowly getting back into the market. They're just like, man, this Iran shit, man, I don't want to buy the stock over here, man. I don't want to buy the stock. And then slowly they have to realize that, yo, this Iran stuff is going to keep going on forever and ever and ever. Trump is not going to give up. He's just going to keep dancing with them. And we just keep doing this taco game where we have bad news, pull back, buy it. Then we have taco, pump. Then we keep doing back and forth and back and forth. And this allows the market to go up on no real news. There's no real change in what people assume with what AI will do, right? I don't think so. So that's why it's just mechanical. So this morning, or not this morning, I guess afternoon for some of you guys, I played this video from the conference, yes, or not conference. What is it? Just a little seminar, webinar, whatever. From Jem Carson. So we're going to continue that right now. So we are going to have this mechanical buying regime. Okay, so let's get back here.
But that is going to happen.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, where were we? We were about 13 minutes in this thing. So he was listing out the bad stuff, right? Interest rates are going to go up. Inflation's sticky. You know, we're fighting China, blah, blah, with the proxy
If anything, it leads
war.
to dispersion, increased volatility in parts of the market.
Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Craig, do you have anything to add?
Okay.
BOJ intervening what it seems like every day this week, or certainly quite a lot this week. The Iran conflict.
Oh, okay. So let me mention about the Bank of Japan. So right now, the Bank of Japan has been manipulating the yen for the past week. Every time the yen went up to like about 150 something per dollar, okay, they kept smashing it back down. Okay, they kept smashing it back down. So they don't want the yen to get any weaker. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, restricts how banks can do this. They will not be able to do this very much longer. So they've already wasted like 3-4 times already. Maybe they're doing their 5th attempt right now. They can only do so many per year. Okay. There's only a few banks that don't need to listen to the IMF. Cuba doesn't listen to the IMF. North Korea doesn't listen to IMF. The Vatican City, the Pope, doesn't need to listen to IMF. A few of the micronations in Europe don't need to listen to the IMF. Okay, Andorra, Liechtenstein, whatever, Luxembourg, I guess. But apart from that, the whole world needs to listen to IMF. The IMF was created in Bretton Woods, which is funny because like Ben Thorpe was talking about, oh, you know, let's go hang out in Bretton Woods. So they want to go to New Hampshire, go up in the mountains with Jeremy, go to the Bretton Woods Hotel, where they basically created the New World Order. All right, after World War II, the Bretton Woods Conference.
Looking like it might be wrapping up, but again, the rhetoric surrounding that can change by the time I finish talking in the next 30 seconds. But where do we head from here? What do you see unfolding in again, I'll sort of try and frame it in sort of the short, medium, and long term for the remainder of the year. With the current setup of the market, the current administration, the current interest rate environment, the new Fed chair coming in as well soon, how do you see markets unfolding with such dislocation, diversification happening, not at the product level, but at a geopolitical level? Where do you see the markets heading towards and the impacts that will have on the actual equity markets and other markets writ large as well? I know that was quite a lot there. So
no, I think that's thank you for setting the scene. I think that's a great lead in. As I broadly tried to allude to, what's critical here is not to speak over simplistically about markets. Markets are not just the S&P 500. There is a dramatic dispersion of outcomes happening across the world, across different assets, right? And even within equities writ large. That I can assure you will continue. Why? Because there is this dramatic push-pull between geopolitical stress. Imagine there were no markets. Imagine they just didn't exist, right? That we had no sophisticated markets in this world. Is this a time of geopolitical stress or not? Clearly, the answer is yes, right? We are 40% of the flows of energy, the biggest input to all businesses in the world, is being disrupted and ground to a halt. The flows going to Asia, right? 20% of all global flows have just stopped of energy in the world. We are in a proxy war between the number one and number two biggest economies in the world, right? So when you start at that level and you start looking at what's happening from a big structural perspective, there's very little doubt that what's actually happening is geopolitically stressful. And by the way, the actions, let's walk through the actual geopolitical actions of the administration. Again, don't look at markets for a second, but what has the US administration done in the last 6 weeks? I'm gonna list just 7 or 8 things. And what you're going to hear through this, and we're going to bring in the flows then, right, which are critical to this conversation, afterwards. What have they done? They have convened a special group on private credit to discuss the tail risks involved in the leverage on the tail of private credit. They have convened a special group on cybersecurity and the risks of AI, and they brought in JP Morgan, all the major banks in an emergency meeting. They passed the Jones Act, an emergency energy meeting with all the major energy companies in tow to help figure out how they're going to be able to increase energy output. These are all emergency meetings. These are not like standard meetings that we're having, right? We have passed an infrastructure bill to speed electrical and internal infrastructure in the United States and deem it critical. We have increased the defense budget from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. We're in the process of doing that. We have issued swap lines to the Middle East, right, en masse, to make sure that liquidity is still flowing, amidst this time. We have asked GM and Ford in an emergency to come in and to start re-gearing their production lines for defense equipment. These are all happened in the last 6 weeks. Meanwhile, right, we have had a very I think well understood, orchestrated, hey, this starting March 29th, this war will be over in 2 weeks, not for 6 weeks. Okay. And hey, we have a deal. We now have a sixth. Hey, we have a deal today, as you mentioned. Each time, quickly refuted. This one has also been refuted by the Iranians and the opposition, and quickly found to be not really anything. And so, again, as I highlighted before, you have to look at the structured product and the positioning. And by the way, positioning also includes CTAs and vol targeting funds and hedge funds and broad gamma positioning, right? As well as all the structured product issuing and everything else we talked about. Right? And in the face of that, you have to know who the players are. And the administration has also, in my opinion, this is not a tinfoil hat thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Has been actively, put me in this position, I would do the same. Actively been trying to create liquidity by holding the market out there. Right? They can't control the whole market, but if they know what these positions are, they know that a little thumb on the scale helps to squeeze things. That's good. That's good for the economy. 50% of all consumption comes from the top 10% of the market. Market goes up 15%. I said $300 trillion about equity or equity-like. That's a $45 trillion increase in collateral we've had in 6 weeks. So all of these things, the way I see them, when you look at reality, are really battening down the hatches, is preparing, right? And so the geopolitical, in my view, is an ongoing issue, and the administration knows that they're acting proactively. But then how can there be such dissonance? How can there be such a departure between markets now, which people see as the kind of result of what's happening? They should be the display. There's this idea that markets that represent a forward-thinking, efficient view of what's actually the reality. And this is why narratives follow the market. But the truth of the matter is they are reflexively a momentum tool also within the market. And the second you begin to realize that markets going up is structurally tied to flows that don't represent reality, as well as players at the table who would prefer that outcome, you begin to understand that these things can depart dramatically for quite some time. I started in the market in 1997, 98, and I can tell you that tech bubble was not a representation of reality, right? 45 PE, for the Nasdaq was not a reality, right?
So I told you guys, okay, when I was studying the stock market, early 90s and into the late 90s, all right, I didn't play the markets, but I was studying at that time, middle school to high school. I was watching it. From that point on, I learned that fundamentals didn't matter. Okay? Explain to me why there was a tech bubble. Why were companies rated at 8,000 times price to earnings? Made no sense. But it didn't matter. People bought it anyway, just because it had .com in the company's name. Okay? So we're about to enter some time here, and he's going to explain like the mechanisms, right? He already alluded to that the government is helping this. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, used to work for a hedge fund. He understands how this market works. So he understands the game. When do you time the news? When do you say you taco and when you not taco? When you push the market down and you pump it back up. You push the market down and you pump it back up. And there is a rhyme to it. All right. He knows when is the right moment to do this, to juice the market higher and higher and higher and higher. So this is not by accident.
As we know, the Nasdaq eventually declined, almost 90%, right? And 95% of the tech internet businesses went bankrupt. But in the meantime, right before that bubble burst, guess what? Everybody's making lots of money. Valuations were going through the roof, and that's the reflexive nature of markets. Markets become reality because they drive reality and liquidity to some extent. And so that short-term positioning is, in my opinion, very much a squeeze in positioning. CTAs were caught very offsides. Trend following has become a much bigger part of markets because it was having success. And people see it as a hedge to broader markets. You had risk parity and vol targeting, right? And of course, now back to structured products.
You know what? IREN is renting GPUs from NVIDIA. So that was part of the news today. Like, NVIDIA is partnering with IREN to rent GPUs, We got all this money from the government to create more data centers. There's tons of new data centers in Utah, Texas. They're sucking up all the water and all the electricity. Electricity bills are going up like crazy because these guys have taken up everything. This is big. The AI war is basically the nuclear war all over again. This is Cold War Part 2 with China. Who can make the biggest AI? I don't know what is going to become. Skynet? I don't know. AI what? I have no idea.
Continued daily compression of volatility at the index level and holding things at risk in place. And also all that overriding of calls coming across the market, driving a forced buyback as we rally through those strikes, right? People now have to add back to get back on sides from the loss, the under positioning from these kind of more non-correlated positions. So covering a wide array, right, of parts of what's happening here. But to be very clear, this has been a gamma squeeze. And as we go higher, the vol just gets too low. Eventually, going back to the tech bubble as an example, if you move and these structural effects kick in and the vol compression is so structural and the buybacks are structural and the short gamma forces buyback, at some point, you naturally slide to calls that relative to realized vol are just too cheap. It always happens at some point, right? And we're there. We're moving way too quick. The market is moving at an immense speed. And now that we've hit that point, clearly this geopolitical still is very dangerous and the demand underneath the market still exists for some type of hedging. Yes, if we continue to go higher from here, not over a 1 week basis, but over a multi-month basis, what we're starting to see is longer dated vol, meaning 2, 3, 6, 9 months a year starting to go bid. And what you should expect is any rally from here should see more and more of that because a replacement of stock without the money calls ultimately is a much dramatically better risk-adjusted return. And at some point here, the demand for that, that comes like the more that happens, by the way, it can counteract some of the structural vol selling coming from some of the structured products at some point. And by the way, at some point, because the structured product issuance, there was so much of it, the market goes high enough. At some point, people will say, okay, wait a second, the vol's maybe too low, and also, you can get maybe a slight pullback in some of that issuance in the short term as well. So that combined reality over some short period generally will lead to higher vol, which then can unpin everything as well. So this is a dynamic we see. We actually saw market vol up for over a year. It unpinned the market. We had multiple 25% pullbacks in the last 2 years of the tech bubble, and a lot of that was driven by this unpinning of vol that happens. Buckle up. Again, more discontinuous, as I mentioned, vol compression followed by sudden big moves that can then lead to unpinning on the upside.
Just on that, I've got a few things that I was just jotting down as you were talking there. Just looking at the S&P daily chart, usually it's the stairs up and then the elevator down. If you're looking at sort of the last 60 days, it's been a stair step down, wasn't it, during sort of the start of the year, and then it was the.
Look at what he's saying. It's a stair step down, and what is he going to say? Elevator up?
That elevator went up. It wasn't even a sort of a V rebound. It was just a literal straight line rebounding that. And then just coming to your points there, you mentioned that unpinning and that higher vol environment. Is there anything on your horizon? You don't have to sort of pinpoint it to one time frame or one area. Is there anything that makes you think that could create this significant higher volatility environment? Is it sort of the private credit? As I know you've spoken quite a lot about that recently as well. Is there a geopolitical arena or an event? China, Taiwan, I know again, it's sort of what you're referring to there, Iran and US, a proxy type setup that we're seeing at the moment. But I'm not sort of trying to pin you down to one thing, but just what's on the horizon that makes you think, okay, this could be a timing here or an event where I could see some serious risk that we could unbuckle here.
Yeah, first let's address the stair steps down, escalator, or whatever, elevator up, right? Like kind of the reverse of what we often see. And by the way, we've seen more of this, and we saw this in 22, right? 22 was very much a stair step down year with massive counter trend elevators up, right? Why does that tend to happen in this environment? Let's just broadly talk about it, because that is very flows focused. Generally, there's skew in the S&P 500, skew in equity indices. And generally speaking, dealers become increasingly, particularly into a downtrending market, right, where they become short, they can sell puts, sell stock, right? And as long as the market goes sideways or even better down and not an extreme decline, they make dramatic amounts of money. Long call, short put, short stock, which is the structural general positioning of dealers in the equity market at the index level, is the biggest carry trade in the world. You can sell a 35 vol in out of the money put and buy a 12 vol and out of the money call in the S&P 3 times higher, right? 2.5 to 3 times higher. And you can hedge it with stock. And that carry trade, as long as the market doesn't collapse. And by the way, even if it's moving down, you can manage it, move it back out of the money, continue to move your strikes, which is what dealers are doing, right? As long as you can do that, this is an incredible long-term trade, right? The realized volatility is not even close to the actual implied volatility on the downside historically. And on the upside, it's very close. So that is a structural, similar to carry trades like yen dollar or other, yen lira, whatever you want to, that work forever. These are structural trades that are driven by some structural realities and supply and demand that are real edge. Problem is, if there's such big trades and there's so obvious real edge and exist for a structural reason, people are all positioned the same way. If everybody's positioned the same way, inevitably those trades have tails. When things break, they break big. And so the risk to those trades is always the tail, right? But if those things are well contained, structural bigger problems like we've seen, and dealers are short those puts, short stock, what happens? This is the Von and Charm flow stuff I talk at length about that has been broadly thought about. Every day that goes by, those deltas have to be bought back to manage the risk relative to that carry trade. And at certain expirations, those trades have to get rolled and reset, and that volume kind of drives these regular pushback and compression of vol on its own. Okay, so reflexively, this carry trade, as long as we don't have a massive break.
All right, so basically, we've designed a system where they manage the downside. If you look at 2022, that was the example he gave. Look at how 2022 played out after the big bubble of COVID into 2021. It went down, but it wasn't like a straight line down, right? It's not 2007, 2008. It was like down, up, down, but overall it was trending down until the end of the year. Then we bounced and we went back up, right? So they're managing how we move down right now. Every time we bubble up too much, they crash the market on purpose. Okay? And then we release some air out of the bubble and then we pump it up again. So it's done on purpose.
It's big if, right? Structurally compress vol and support the market through buyback of stock every day, every minute, throughout the day. So there is this positioning, this carry trade structurally reflexively compresses vol and supports market. And even more on the downside. Because if you think about it, if we go down, they're making even more money, right? And so they want to lock that in, and they want to buy back those deltas, and they have even more deltas to buy back in theory, right? As they move towards their short put position. And so this dynamic is critical and has changed in a market down, vol down type environment, has changed the realities. When we get these positions, though, what happens? Well, if something comes through, that vol is so compressed and the market can't decline a major way, markets come down enough in that vol compressed way, eventually CTAs and other things get short enough that an upside move can now start to really push things quickly. And at first that leads to massive vol compression because everybody's moving to that call that they have, and generally leads to selling and selling and selling vol. At some point, like we talked about, that vol gets too low, and the structural other flows, everything else that's driving things, by the way, those calls at some point become puts themselves, right, and get digested through the buying of hedges. And eventually, it takes a while. You get to a nadir in vol. And a reality of others coming in and saying, well, okay, now we can, not only has the move been so big, driven by this vol compression on the buyback and everything that started in the first place, relative to the implied we've gotten to, but now that we've moved so far and implied vol is now starting to rise, we can now unravel things and go the other way. So this is kind of the general cycle we've seen, which drives, again, stair steps down, escalator up, right? But also that structurally is leading to more broad volatility compression and very hard for markets to break down. As we know, and we've seen in China, though, and other places with auto-callables and other trades, at some point, if you do break, these positions can exacerbate the tail. And this is, again, that discontinuous kind of piece we've been talking about. So structurally, very, very supportive, very, very pinning of markets. Distributionally, what it does is it creates what I call a leptokurtic market, something that is much more tight in distribution, but when something breaks, the tails are very fat.
Okay. Well, someone pull out their statistics book, because so I guess it's not a bell curve anymore. It just looks like kind of like a big penis. So the distribution is just like one big dick or something, and then you just got these fat balls at the tail end or so. And so if we ever get to the point where the system breaks, then it'll break hard. So one day this will stop working. And if you still have stock, you are going to be in for a painful ride. So the next big crash, okay, it will make 2007 and 2008 look like nothing. So we could keep riding these bubbles up, but one day it'll stop working and the music will stop.
And that is much harder for your average two-dimensional trader to manage. It makes people generally much more aggressive because the odds.
So look what he said there. This will be terrible for the two-dimensional trader. I'm a two-dimensional trader. I just look at price. Price goes up and down, right? 2 dimensions. I don't care about time, really. I don't care about volatility. I don't care about all this crap about gamma, delta, none of that. That's when you play options, it's multi-dimensional. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. So I'm going to be in for a bad ride if I don't understand what he's saying. So this is what I'm trying to get to you guys. You can play options, but I don't think you understand what you're doing with options. You are a small trader. They are people there out here making big options trades over time right now, right? They're setting up everything. Oh man, they have to deal with all this stuff and manage the markets with huge flows of money. So they're thinking in a different world than you. You are just trying to pick up pennies when the steamroller is coming down the damn street, right? And you're just like picking up the pennies before the asphalt is coming through and then the guy's rolling over your fingers. That's what you're doing. This whole world is going crazy with this, and it's like one day this won't work anymore. You can't pick up the pennies anymore fast enough. Yeah, it's financial engineering at a large scale. And yeah, I don't know, man. So if you look at a chart, you won't see any of this, right? You're just looking at a chart. You're just going like, whatever. But one day, it won't work anymore. And this is kind of like, this is why the game is so interesting, because there's so much nuance to the game. Technology keeps changing. The rules keep changing. It's not like the same rules as 1970, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. It keeps changing. Overall, the psychology doesn't change. So I always recommend, like, if you don't want to look into it too much, charts are fine. You look at a chart, you can understand like a lot of stuff really quickly. It's very easy for you to look at a picture. But I do warn you that eventually you can't be dumb and ignore the fact that over time these option markets, these futures markets, these derivatives are going to blow up the stock market sometime down the line, which is like, your 401ks. Good luck with that. I don't know.
It's about right biased, outcome is also much higher, as we highlighted here, right? But the more people become risk on, and more people take for granted, retail does, that buying the dip is the right position. They have all these things on their, at their benefit, right? All of these supportive things. At some point, again, now we can get to the timing part you talked about, Craig. At some point, it goes far enough, and the risk appetite and the risk on is so high, and the tech bubble, things get so priced at an unreality relative to the risk reward underneath the markets, and we get to a short window, and that's why these windows really matter, where maybe people aren't hedged as well. Maybe in the short term, some piece of news that's not tied to that index can force certain outcomes, a la August 2024, or which is the carry trade coming.
Okay, July and August of 2024, there was the yen carry trade broke, and all the semiconductor and other tech stocks went down. It wasn't because of fundamentals. It was because the yen got too cheap. The Bank of Japan intervened and they pushed the yen back down, okay, compared to the dollar. So the dollar went up, and then it just broke everyone because they were using the cheap yen to get higher yields in other currencies, okay? So they were using cheap loans from Japan to get yen, use the yen to buy convert it to another currency, like maybe the Mexican peso or the Brazilian real or the US dollar, get higher yield bonds, use that to fund buying stocks. So when that broke, they were forced to sell Nvidia, sell AMD, sell whatever, and then have to go back to the yen. Right now, that's not happening because they've been using that probably because Samantha Leduc, she thinks that what they're doing is they're going into gold and silver. Okay, that's what they're doing right now. So the silver and gold trade might break if this yen crap keeps happening. So, you guys got to watch out. You never know. All that paper trading in silver and gold will break if the yen breaks, and then you're going to be like, why the hell is silver and gold right back down? You see the danger here?
Back and boomeranging back to the U.S. briefly, or the Volmageddon, in February 2018. These are all just kind of recent examples. Like August 2015 yuan devaluation, right? These are things that, in my opinion, are more likely to be the types of things that set off in a bit of a not central to that index world. As dispersion increasingly happens, something is likely to break somewhere else, which can then drive the deleveraging, which can then reflexively create a much bigger tail outcome. And so, in this world where we are now, let's be more specific than somewhat general. Price of oil and how that affects the 10 and 30-year bond, right? The long bond, not just here, but globally, is a real problem. And at some point that breaks something somewhere. Not just that, the price of the dollar and the relative value of yields in the US relative to global is a problem. The US, in my opinion, is the big part of the reason the US has gone into is not, Iran, et cetera, is to, on a relative value, on a proxy level relative to China, US isn't actually affected by the flow of energy nearly as much as people talk about. Companies in the US which get earnings abroad and supply chains and things are affected. But from an oil price perspective, the US is energy self-sufficient. So that the real risk here is the exposure to energy in countries like Japan and other countries like Korea, like Europe, right? That have much more exposure to those realities. And that's why there's a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, and that's the leverage that the US is trying to play. And eventually, those things will be unsustainable much quicker in places where that vol compression doesn't exist. And, not to mention things where the privilege of the US dollar doesn't exist. And when those things break, that's where this is likely to come from. When does that happen? How does that play out? Much more likely to play out after the summer, to be clear. We get into the last 2 summers and now this third summer, I call this the summer of George. We get into all the meme stuff that kind of drove all that. But what that is this essentially this massive decrease in volumes that happens across the market, where structured product issuance and all these options positions on a relative value to the amount of other trading flows become more dominant. And in those periods, that vol compression can overtake at the index level an incredibly difficult kind of risk kind of shell to crack. So we've seen this last summer and the summer before, and it's only been increasing. What we see is dramatically increased dispersion, which again is reinforced by long-short equity hedge fund, also increasing scale. And so, again, I believe the administration kind of understands this. Remember, the head of the Treasury in the U.S. is a hedge fund manager, and they have a huge organization. If you think they're not sophisticated, like, I got some beachfront property in Arizona to sell you, but they are very much, and again, not a coincidence that last April V bottom, this April V bottom, right?
Okay, that's what he's alluding to, right? Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, hedge fund manager. He knows what the game is. He coordinates with Trump. Every tweet they make, everything they make, all this stuff, it's done on purpose. Each of the 2 Aprils we had a nice bottom, right? And then the market shot back up. We went down, shot back up like clockwork.
By the way, crisis tweet followed immediately by we have a peace deal, which we know now neither of those things were true. Also last year, 150% tariffs followed by 10% on some people and 0 on others. These things are help orchestrate within the context of these flows: a V bottom, a vol compression, a CTA turn, and if they can get through the May period, then they get to this vol compression through the summer. So the more likely outcome is retail chases. This thing continues for a bit. Vol compression continues into the summer. We see dramatic dispersion. That's where you make your money over the summer, is understanding where hedge funds are short, where hedge funds are long, and where that long short positioning is. Also leaning on the dominant structured product issuance and other vol, or maybe other corners of the market where it may exist. And then using those flows to your advantage to take advantage of what will be, again, which we've seen in the last 2 years, dramatic moves underneath the hood with an index that is broadly well compressed and where risk is muted. But in other corners of the market, which in my opinion will probably break in something like August or September. We'll see where and when based on the flows of the time. We don't have to call the day. We've done that before now, but a August OPEX, I'll highlight here, and maybe we'll talk about it when we come on next time if that's something that happens, but I would be very hesitant around an August OPEX.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we're done there. So September, August, he says, right? So yesterday or 2 days ago, we played the Bond King, Jeffrey Gunlock. He was like, July, something's gonna break, maybe June, July, right? That's what he said. You got Jem Carson saying like, well, probably August, September, something will break. Okay, all right. We have a new Fed chair. He's probably not going to cut interest rates, all right? He's going to have a hard time convincing people to cut interest rates. Remember, Jerome Powell didn't quit, really. He's still going to be the governor of the Federal Reserve, okay? He still has 1 vote. He's not the chair, but he still has 1 vote, and he can blah, 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 and influence people that are voting in the Federal Reserve, all right? So it's probably going to have he's probably going to have a difficult time cutting interest rates until something breaks. If something breaks September, all right, July, August, September, I don't know, maybe we'll go into September, then the Fed might be forced to cut interest rates, right? Or increase their QE. Of course, like people will say like, oh, we don't have QE. It's not happening. But if it does, then that will be it. That will be the time you got to jump in and you got to make your money. That'll be it. Or maybe there's a hantavirus and we'll have a lockdown. I don't know. And you probably should get loans. I think if you are broke and you have no money, you should if the Federal Reserve does reduce interest rates immediately, very quickly because of a crisis, you better go out there, get a loan, use that loan and buy a bunch of stocks, crypto, gold, silver, whatever, oil, wheat, soybeans, whatever it takes. This is your last chance, guys. That's it. I don't know. You've been given so many chances since COVID. This government has given so many exit points to get rich and retire. If you miss this last chance, you're done. You're cooked. You're going to be a wage slave forever. Or you're going to have to wait for UBI. You're going to have to wait for Elon Musk to give you UBI or something at this point. So that's my warning to you. So This is the only reason I've been doing these shows, because I knew this day would come. This day would come where humans would be screwed, essentially. If you didn't get out at this point in time, you would have a rough future. So yeah, that's it, guys. I think this is it. This is it. We are screwed. All right. Anyway, enough of the doomer talk. I just get plan on pumping and dumping gold as long as it cycles. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I think gold will go up till June. So for now, it should go up with June with Bitcoin and the other stocks. That's what I see. So as far as China, yeah, I don't know. So he's gonna have a meeting, right? Trump's gonna have a meeting. Yeah. Yeah, I think gold will go up until June. I don't know what about Trump. I saw some tweets. Some U.S. planes have been landing in China. A lot of cars, some armored vehicles for Trump to ride around in. Yeah, so it's gonna be a big meeting, and they're gonna probably talk about Taiwan too. The whole paper memorandum sounds like the usual, BS. Just waiting for Israel. Yeah. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Great. Okay. So let's talk about my man right here. Barack Ravid. All right. So go talk about this guy for a while. All right, let's play the spy music. Okay. Global affairs correspondent for Axios, CNN analyst, Washington correspondent for Israel's Channel 12. So this guy is the villain of the year, I guess. Author of Trump's piece. What the hell? So follow him on Twitter. So first off, let's talk about this. What's your future, guys? This is your future. AI could end scarcity, end humanity, or boost trend growth by 0.2 percentage. What? That's it? Okay, I don't know. What the heck? 0.2 percentage points. All right, fine. So if we got tech singularity, okay, I guess I can't talk about the chosen people. Okay, hold on. You can't talk about the chosen people, man. All right. Okay, back to this. All right, so I don't really understand this chart here, but all right. So I guess this blue dashed line is 0.2% growth. All right. And then otherwise we're going to have a boost in GDP because of AI. So we're all going to benefit from this, or we're just going to crash and burn. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess everybody's going to become unemployed. Oh, fuck. I have no idea. I don't have no idea what this chart is about. But yeah, there we go. Those are your options there. And here, let me show you this. So I've been seeing a lot of these ads around some metropolises out here in California. I've seen them on buses. I've seen a lot of them around the billboards. Fire Steve, hire Ava. Oh, okay. Steve, not coming today. Sorry. Or not coming in today. Ava, the AI. Okay. Booked 12 meetings. Researched 1,269 projects. We got these billboards. Stop hiring humans. I've been seeing a lot of these all over the place. Yes, stop hiring humans. You guys are screwed, man. That's it. Either you get UBI or you get a freaking. You better learn the stock market and get your money and get out of the casino, because there's it. If you're a wage slave, you are screwed. Really screwed. That's it. 45% of today's work can be automated, leaving more time for what really matters. Augmented human labor is an inclusive opportunity, not a threat. Is this for real, bro? Your next hire isn't human. All right, so this is Ava, I guess. Okay. Well, hi, Ava. I guess you're gonna replace me. That's fine. Yeah. What is this company anyway? I just keep seeing it all over the place. Artisan. Jordan Belfort's secret weapon. Okay, what? Who? Am I supposed to know who these people are? Just wait. Oh, just wait until AI powers space mining. Yeah. Bro. Oh, yes. Yes. I can't wait. You know, this is why I came here at this moment in time. This is the best time. All right. In all of humanity, because we are at an inflection point. We are at a point where we could really be kings or we'll be paupers. So I don't know where you want to be, guys. The elites have got everything covered. There's nowhere to run. There's no more Wild West, okay? The Wild West now is in space, I guess. I guess that's where it is. All right, so let me read this one from Samantha Leduc about the Bank of Japan. Japan can conduct only 2 more sessions of 3-day interventions by November if it wants to maintain its status of having a freely floating exchange rate based on the IMF, International Monetary Fund. That leaves dollar swaps after that, and they have to be returned, remember? Okay, so Japan only has 2 more shots. All righty. So we got this. We got an intervention April 30th. Okay, so sometime after midnight. We got another intervention. So they really don't want it to get to 160 yen per dollar. I don't know what that's going to break. That's going to break something, right? For sure. We could be screwed here, man. And I also read a tweet that the Bank of Japan is now offering tokenization of their bonds. So you could go to the crypto markets and buy Bank of Japan bonds. So they want to turn it into cryptos right now. Yeah, AI industry will take care of surplus population. I don't know, man. No need to procreate. Fuck, we're screwed, bro. I'm bearish on humans right now. For real. So you remember 2024? We were talking about that August here. This is what happened. This is what crashed the tech stock market. So all that Nvidia got sold off because they had to get back into the yen. So are they doing it again? If they're doing it again, then gold and silver will crash, I guess. I don't know. This time around. So we got 2 more windows right there. Good luck, Japan. Good luck. All right. Okay, next up, let's talk about our boy, David. All right, King David here. King David, or Barack, my bad, Barack Obama. It's Barack Ravid. All right, IDF Unit 8200 VET. So Unit 8200, Israeli Defense Force unit. So this is their NSA. GCHQ for you Brits. Turn Axios disinfo dump. Barack Ravid is melting down after being exposed for his role as Trump, Kushner, and Witkoff's water carrier. He has spent over a year anonymously citing these miscreants to help them manufacture war on Iran and manipulate markets. Time after time, his reports are discredited and or shot down by Iranian officials. And now everyone who's paying attention is onto him. In exchange with Obama's ambassador to Israel this February, Ravid exposed how deeply invested he is in the Trump-Kushner-Witkoff corruption game, issuing a full-throated defense of their main channel for conflict profiteering, the ironically named Board of Peace. Ravid insists this sewer of taxpayer-funded corruption is a noble and entirely transparent endeavor aimed at stabilizing Gaza and not at lining the pockets of Trump and his cronies, while the population of Gaza continues to endure deprivation and mass murder at the hands of Ravid's army. It couldn't be more obvious that he's eating out of the blood-stained hands of Trump, Witkoff, Kushner, and company. So, I think I had a stream where I made a thumbnail with Kushner, Epstein, Trump, and I was making a little joke there, tongue-in-cheek. But I think it looks like it's true. It looks like it's true. It looks like it's true, guys. Hard to take the Board of Peace seriously. Barely any Palestinian input. No women speakers. Grand construction plan. What is this shit? Dan, I disagree. 1. This is the most significant effort by a U.S. president to tackle the issue of Gaza. A key impediment to any Israeli-Palestinian peace deal. All right, blah, blah, blah. What else? The president of the World Bank was at the event. He's overseeing the money, so not sure a slush fund is an accurate description. Okay, whatever. All right, this thing here. This is funny. So he responded with this thing last night. Breaking. Complete and utter bullshit by the Hormuz liar. Oh man, I love that account too. That Twitter account. That's why you gotta go on Twitter, man. Twitter's where all the fun is, I guess. Several whistleblowers say that Axios coordinated news with Market Insider, leaking CME order information via phone calls up to 30 minutes before market open and close prints. Crude oil short positions were also taken just before today's Axios report on a U.S.-Iran deal and 14-point deal plan, gaining substantially as oil dropped sharply on the news. Iranian political analyst Mohammad Marandi also says Trump, Witkoff, Kushner, and their close associates profited heavily in the past hours from fake news provided to Axios. This was yesterday. So, there you go, guys. There you go, guys. This is a game we're playing here. This is a big game we're playing. Oh, boy. I guess we're not gonna get out of it anytime soon. All right. 1 hour, 20 minutes. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't think the markets are doing anything, are they? Are they doing anything crazy? How are they doing? Iran is up like 9% still. Okay. I don't think the markets are crashing yet. Nothing yet. So we're going to get a pump tomorrow morning or what? I don't know. So we'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay. Guess we'll see you tomorrow morning. I don't think there's anything else on the news. Oh man, Anthropic is going crazy. $1 trillion valuation. Oh my god. Bro, this bubble is gonna be wild once they IPO. Oh man, this is crazy. Data centers by 2035, U.S. data centers alone will consume $6.5 billion. I mean, 6.5 billion cubic feet of gas per day. Natural gas, yeah, baby, natural gas. That's where we gotta be in. Oof. Okay, let me talk about some lithium, okay, and uranium today. We're not in a rush to get into those things, okay, because they'll just go up until June and then they'll just go back down. So yeah, there's no rush. There's really no rush. All right, there really is no rush. So let's look at some of these stocks. So over the month, we have one new entry into the nuclear stock arena. 66 million shares. So this is a small cap. I guess it IPO'd sometime last year. AMFN. I don't know. This is a penny stock, right? This is some trash at 8 cents. It's up like 77% right now. So I'm going to have to be looking at these penny stocks. One of these penny stocks got to make me rich, right? Maybe it's this one. I don't know. Anyhow, we got Oklo up 54%, so it's recovered. So after this big drop from October last year, it's starting to move back up. But overall, I think, you know, there's no rush to get into any of these. These things, a lot of them have been beaten down. They're kind of like trying to get back up. Some of them are doing a lot better because they're not directly uranium mining or nuclear. They have a lot of broader businesses like GEV, which is one of the stocks like I really like. I still like it. It's kind of sad that it doesn't have big pullbacks. It kind of just goes up. It always just goes up. So GE Vernova, and we're gonna wait for these other ones like Constellation Energy, Duke Energy. Gotta wait for that one a little bit more. Yeah, a lot of these you gotta wait for. So no rush to get into them. But yeah, I have noticed that. Oh, we got a penny stock here. All right, we got that one. Okay, now let's look at rare earth and lithium. So USAR, I think the government is put their money into this one. So USAR, you're gonna have to look at. This is gonna be important. It's already up 80%, recovered from the bottom in April. All right, so we're back at $25-30 from 15. So look at this one, CRML, so another rare earth one. All right, but you can tell by the charts here, like, look, it's pretty ugly, honestly. So you kind of have this big blow ups, go down, big blow ups, go down, so yeah, I'm not telling you guys to buy it right now. Okay, so lithium, my two favorites, SGML. All right, it looks like it broke out last month around here. Okay, $70. It's 23. I really like this one. I don't know if like this is a time to buy it though, because we had our dip into April and we already bounced off of it. I'm just kind of like, I think you can wait. The second one I told you guys about, was LAR. I think these two are my number one picks. I don't know if it's worth it to start looking elsewhere from those two. Those two are the number one, number two picks, and then you have LAC. LAC is underperforming, but LAC is like USAR. Okay, government put their money in it. So maybe it's worthwhile to add a third one, but those two are the ones I like. SGML I like the most. Second place LAR, but I might flip. I might go LAR first and SGML. So I'm only going to look for very few stocks. All right, I'm only looking for the best of the best lithium, and maybe I'll add a third one just because the government's in there, the U.S. government's in there. But as far as rare earth, these two, USAR and CRML. Okay, that's it. And if I decide to add more, I'll add to it. Yeah, I talked about NBIS today. I mean, that's next week. Next week we'll have earnings. That's the last of the AI infrastructure stocks. NBIS is like the Core Z, the HUT, the IREN, but it's reports earning next week. Okay, that's it. But so I'm not interested in that until we get through earnings. HUT is pretty much the number one right now. Like I said, I don't want to spread myself out with all of these. I just want the best of the best, put all my money in there or leverage it up, and that's it. I don't want to goof off with 3, 4, 5, 6 of these stocks, and then some of them do well and the others like kind of like go down or something, right? You only go for the best of the best. That's it. We don't have time to waste on trash right now here, especially when we get into the summer, right? We don't have much time. Okay, that's it. Okay, covered the nuclear and lithium. All right. Good. All right, since I have some time left, maybe I'll cover some Boyd stuff here. Let's cover some Boyd stuff, guys. Since Deadman didn't stream, so I might as well cover some of this. So, it looks like Dalmatian Dog is alive.
Temporarily celibate.
Yeah.
What does that mean, right? It means you go out and try, but you fail. You fail a lot. I might be an incel, guys.
So what the hell is this? Dalmatian doesn't talk. He's just filming the Starbucks. And he's playing Jeremy's stand-up in the background as his audio. What is this shit?
Voluntarily celibate.
So wait, is this really him or is there somebody posing as him? Did someone just repackage an old short and trying to pretend to be Dalmatian, or is this really Dalmatian? Because he was in chat today in Jeremy's stream, his last stream, and he was talking mad shit to Jeremy and Matt. Deadman blew his load. Yeah, Deadman definitely blew his load, I guess. Who cares? He's going full whore maxing, right? Gotta clock out. We'll check out the rest later. All right, man. See ya. Cryptic. Oh, what's up, Jewel? Oh, you're just in time for me to cover a little Boyd since I got some time to play this crap. So I don't know what is going on. What is going on? This is some bullshit right here. Some goddamn bullshit. All right, let me play some of his other videos, but they all got copyright crap on it. Oh man, goddamn, 3 yards, bro. Stop it. All right, here, let me try that again. All right. Okay. You guys see this? Is this working? Shit. Maybe it's not working. Oh man, I think it's taking up way too much memory to play it like this. Yeah. All right, I don't think this will work. But you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Something's going on. He's just over here like showing off his drink. Okay. His drink says Vincent on it. I don't know if that's it. That's enough proof that it's him. Is that D-Dog? Is that you, bro? Says Vincent. Okay, whatever. Wait, I don't think any of these videos we have a good look at his car, so is Dalmatian Dog back or not? I don't know. All right, that's enough. That's enough there. We're done with that forensic analysis. I'm done with that. Okay, let me play you some clips of what happened today. So, this is what happened last night.
Are we? I don't know. I'm honestly more surprised she said Ben could play. Yeah. What a liberal queen. Do the Jeremy I thing. Yeah. 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 I can't even do it. It's like this like wry smile that he thinks is charming, like bro just gave up on streaming, actually. That's the funny part. He's done. He's chopped. He's cooked. He's gone. Two hours. It's over. Sucks to suck. You are the worst ever. I hope your battery pack runs out. I hope your engine battery dies. I hope you get stuck in a swamp. I hope OBC Dawn puts a dead carcass in your trunk, a dead animal carcass in your trunk, and doesn't tell you about it so it stinks. I hope you get 20 viewers or less. I hope you get no donos. I hope you continue skipping so you get even less donos. I hope you have terrible night's sleep. I hope you have paranoia. I hope everything works out in the least beneficial way possible so that you have a mental breakdown, because that's the only interesting thing that could happen to you at this point. So Jeremy isn't invited to the hazed meetup.
Jules thinking like, yeah, did they bone? The sad part is they didn't bone, right? All these emotions for people that you barely know, really, honestly. Oh my god. Anyway. Fuck me, man. This is some wild ass fucking interactions here. This is some Boyd. This is real Boyd. All right. So you got the curses, right? You heard the curses. Well, what happened today? What happened today?
Get out of him. He's not gonna do anything. He doesn't have any weapons or anything.
Come on, hide behind the tree and do a wolf howl.
Oh!
They worried you were dead.
Is he gooning?
Was Jeremy
Oh, he's not
gooning?
dead, yeah. Should we let him?
We should have done taken Jeremy out on a sleeping bag and put him in the water.
Oh yeah.
It is 44. Yeah. I'll leave it alone. They just said check on him. They thought you had ended it. I thought I died. All right. Jeremy wants to keep sleeping. I'm going to leave him alone.
Can we sleep setup before you go?
Jeremy, can they see? All right. Jeremy wants sleeping. I'm going to leave him alone.
Can we see the sleep setup before you go?
Jeremy, can they see your sleep setup? You guys want to see my sleep setup? Yeah.
Crying and waking in the woods.
dreaming about.
Do you have
Get his
afternoon
guitar.
wood? You can get confirmation.
Was he jorking it? Was he jorking it?
Who's you streaming with?
This is Grace and Ben, but they want us to come down to Rhode Island. So I texted you quite a while ago.
Jeremy,
So I
ready
called in. I called in with you guys.
He's like a caterpillar.
Get Starlink! Holy shit!
Get his guitar.
You can get confirmation.
Was he jorking it? Was he jorking it?
Who's you streaming with?
This is Grace and Ben, but they want us to come down to Rhode Island. So I texted you quite a while ago.
Jeremy,
So I
ready
called in. I called in with you guys.
He's like a caterpillar.
Why are you guys always thinking I'm dead? What the fuck?
You seem like you
I
could
was
have
sleeping
like,
so well,
died.
Well, you said you had a great night's sleep and you slept in, so.
Yeah, your car was abandoned.
You should call it. I'm gonna get back to work. You should call into them and see if they want us to go to Rhode Island.
You want to go to Rhode Island?
I said I would be open to it.
Why are you so tired,
Can you
Jeremy?
guys drop the
Crazy beautiful, beautiful drive.
Okay.
Beautiful weather. You love.
All right, so we're gonna.
And we what? Can
So
we drop
Jeremy
the
is
plate
interested
off?
in coming to Rhode Island.
Can we drop the plate up? We
What's
can,
that?
Absolutely. Did you say can we drop the plate up?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's. Jeremy, we're gonna call in and then discuss the Rhode Island trip. I'm gonna head back to work.
All right.
I will see you later.
Thank you,
Thanks for
LP.
the drop in, the pop in. The welfare check. That was a welfare check.
Welfare check, yeah. Why does Jeremy sleep more than my...
Oh man, I don't know. Bro, when he was with John Gull, he was sleeping all the time too. But then, you know, I thought it was like because he was drinking all the time. Shit. So, fuck. Whatever, guys. Okay, so they're in Maine, right? He's in Maine. They're doing the wilderness stuff. And then an hour later, this happens. So technically ate one. Yeah, he ate one crawfish. And they gave him like those fiddle. What is that stuff? That fiddle, that weed. I mean, that's Cajun food, right? What's that? That fiddle. I never ate that myself. What is that? That fiddle. What the heck is that stuff? It's the stuff that grows out of the ground and stuff. What's it called? Fiddle what? Fiddle sticks? No, it's not fiddle sticks. Oh man, but yeah, crawfish is definitely something like, yeah, Cambodians and Vietnamese love fucking crawfish, crawdads, fiddleheads. Oh yeah, fiddleheads. It's like asparagus. Yeah. Never had them myself, but I know it's Cajun, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of Vietnamese in like Louisiana, so they probably would eat it with that. I don't know. I haven't partaken, so now I'm curious. I actually want to eat some now just to see how good they are. No idea, but yeah, you got my curiosity right there. There's a Cajun restaurant by my parents' place that opened up like a few years ago. I don't think they have that though in their menu. Shoot. I want to go to live in Da Nang. Dude, there's a lot of freaking immigrants. You know, there's a channel with a Vietnamese lawyer that helps you with immigration. Like, I think there's more people going to Vietnam than Vietnamese people want to be getting out of Vietnam at this point. Crazy. Looks like there's more opportunities over there. I don't know if it's a good thing. I think if you're a foreigner and you go to these countries, you're going to have to deal with the corruption. You're going to have to get used to that type of shit. And they might not mess with you just because you're a foreigner, but that's not a guarantee, you know? They'll obviously mess with locals more, but you know, any situation could change. So you're gonna have to give up certain things if you go there. There's no such thing as human rights, let's put it that way. Okay, so an hour later this happens.
There's other people there fishing too. That's a pretty popular little spot. Just like this is like a small town. This is the town I told you about that had all the incest. My family has no incest. I was talking about this town. And so okay. Yeah, so this town is kind of like, I don't know what to call it, just as towny. But like this is one of the
way back there might have been because there were so
I can trace. Tori says a fisherman came by and told him he's not allowed to camp there, but wouldn't. Calling on him, just wanted to tell. Tori says a fisherman came by and told him he's not allowed to camp there, but wouldn't call in on him. Just wanted to tell him in case someone did call.
Yeah, see, people camp there, but they camp further away from the road. Jeremy's right up where everybody can see him that drives by, and I don't think he realized how many people go up there to walk their dog.
So let me rewind this back so you make sure you guys heard that first part, right? Okay, so. Okay, if you had to move to another country, where it would be, man, I don't know anymore. I mean, each country has their like pros and cons. You know, it's just, it's like which con do you want and which pro do you want, right? Bro, yeah, man. Each country has. It's not an easy question. You're gonna have to pick. You have to bite the bullet with this one right now, and we're living in a very globalized world. So, what's the benefit to you versus the trouble that you could potentially have, right? I remember CT had like a bunch of like a show where he was just like talking. He just played this video of this girl that got arrested in Japan and stuff, and I don't know what she did. But she was just talking about the treatment she had in Japanese jails. It's like, yeah, like there's no due process. There's no freaking habeas corpus. There's no. You got to know to play the game in these other countries, man. It's like, I don't know what trouble you got into or who you pissed off, but like Colombia is nice for some reason. I've been to Colombia many times, like Colombia. Latin America can have pretty nice places. I haven't been to Argentina. Some people have told me Argentina is very good, but then again, you got the high inflation, the political turmoil that always keeps happening. So that's a problem in those countries. Oh, god damn it. Fucking StreamYard. Anyhow. Got customs. Oh, yeah, so it mailed her some. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the thing. She got tricked. They sent her some drugs. Yeah. Oh, Indonesia, I don't know about. I had a friend, like, she had a roommate from Indonesia. But I didn't get a good sense of how Indonesia is. I've heard good things about that place in certain cases, but Indonesia is such a big country, though, right? It depends on which island you get into. Man. El Salvador is improving. I heard about it. Peru, never been. I had a friend that went there. I don't know. It's kind of... Peru's pretty, like, mixed bag, you know, right? Near the Amazon, it's nuts. Yeah, he went out in the border between Brazil and Peru, and there was, like, this crazy whorehouse over there. In the border. He just went in there. I guess. Like, he told me, like, oh yeah, I just went there. I was bored. I'm gonna go there to fuck. And then he spent so long with this, like, the hooker there. Like, apparently she was the most popular hooker in that border town whorehouse. and everybody was waiting outside. There was a huge line out there waiting for their turn, and they were pissed. They looked mad that he took his sweet ass time or something. Holy shit. Anyway, oh yeah, Cambodia, never been. I grew up with some Cambodians. It sounds like they have a lot of trouble with poverty though. So, and a lot of like pedos go down there because of that. Yeah. Anyhow, thousands of islands in Indonesia. Yeah, thousands of islands. Freaking crazy. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to be like, what? What the fuck? And each island has their own culture too, right? So, good luck with that. I mean, Filipino like doesn't even have a unified language. It's just like people probably can speak Tagalog to you, but like if you go to the different islands, they're gonna be like speaking in whole nother languages, and you're like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Oh man, Indonesia, yeah. I don't know if they have terrorist problems still down there. Probably. They probably do. Anyhow. That's what happens when you artificially create countries that shouldn't become countries, right? Oh yeah, blame the white man, colonialism, blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, back to the story here. So OPC at 1 hour after Jeremy got kicked out. So pay attention, pay attention. Yeah, there's other major languages. I know. Yeah, I heard. Most of the Filipinos I interact with are from the main island. So I don't know about the other guys. I'm sure it's. Oh, fuck. All right. So StreamYards is still having problems tonight. I don't know. Is anybody using the StreamYards server? This is really getting annoying. Holy shit.
There's other people there fishing too. That's a pretty popular little spot. Just like this is like a small town. This is the town I told you about that had all.
All right, so yeah, can I just get through this one small clip? Hurry up, man. Like, this is ridiculous. So I don't know what's going on with StreamYards today. If the solar flares are... If there's a Carrington event, can you guys tell me? I don't know. What do we have an X1 solar flare coming out of the damn sun right now? It's going to be hitting... Or it could be like the Israelis are getting bombed. A lot of times, like I could tell when the Israelis are getting bombed by the
fishing too. That's a pretty popular little spot. Just like this is like a small town. This is the town I told you about that had all the incest. My family has no incest. I was talking about this town, and so okay. Yeah. So this town is kind of like I can trace.
Tori says a fisherman came by and told him he's not allowed to camp there, but wouldn't call in on him. Just wanted to tell him in case someone did call.
Yeah, see, people camp there, but they camp further away from the road. Jeremy's right up where everybody can see him that drives by, and I don't think he realized how many people go up there to walk their dog.
And throw away the key.
Okay, all right. So I'll go back, but I just assumed he would get a warning, and maybe told to pick up and move on. And I thought he'd call it.
Right now, that's kind of he's probably kind of scared.
Traditional says, "Well, Ben would be."
You know what? Does he have ID? Did he ever get his license replaced? Does he have any ID to show the guy?
I don't know. He's
he
not clear
said
about
I don't
it.
need my wallet because we have it, but he just doesn't seem like the kind of
we
guy
don't have
who
it. I lost it for sure.
Oh, it's.
I lost it.
I just thought it will be a.
Wait, what? They lost the wallet, so they pretend burnt. If you guys remember, they burnt the wallet, right? Which wasn't his wallet; it was Ben's wallet. And so they had the wallet. Now the wallet's gone when they moved out. Oh my god, whatever. Yeah, Jeremy lost the wallet. At least he got the laptop back finally. Holy shit.
Funny story for Jeremy to tell, so I was going to let Jeremy tell it, but I've been watching your stream as I drive, and he hasn't called in, so I'm like, maybe he did get in some kind of trouble.
I don't know.
All
But
right,
then again,
All right, so currently low levels, blah blah blah, with common sieve class player. Well, I don't know what it is. So if the Israelis are getting bombed right now, or the UAE or something, and their AWS servers are getting smacked around, I have no clue. But anyway, I don't know. He had to order it from Washington State. I remember that. I don't fucking know. I don't got time for this shit. But every time I play this video, it's gonna keep crapping out, I guess. So, but I think you guys got the idea, right? Like Jeremy got booted out by the game warden. Yeah, all the servers are like all over the place. I don't know where they are, but I've noticed websites stop working when every time the Israelis and the UAE get bombed. Like, Okay, let's see. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Is this thing still working? Huh, okay. Weird. Yeah, it's definitely something up for sure. Like, I can't tell if I'm disconnected, not connected, reconnected. mRNA. Yeah, I don't know if the hantavirus is going to be real. mRNA is what I'm playing. But I've been bullish on mRNA since it moved its base. Yeah, mRNA. Iran play is, I don't know what the Iran play is, but I was talking about that Axios guy. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that Lalo and all that. Well, that's a whole nother game. That's a whole nother game, guys. That's a whole nother game. Okay, let's see what else we got here. We got Grace doing the foot stuff.
Great guys dicks. Is that really true? Because my dad said that before, but like I was like, no way. Like how much? I mean, I get them anyways, so. She's gonna teach me the tricks of the trade, guys. We're gonna do foot stream. $10 at least per pick. That seems cheap. That's funny. I do have one foot guy in my DMs, Hazed, and I did sell fee picks to him, and I learned what a spread is. I'm learning the terms. There's like natural spread, and then there's like standing spread. And he said, ooh, that's why it's great they were getting the pedicures, because he said that he would pay more. Nails done. Boom. Rate my taint. That's nice. That's classy. I hate the word taint. I hate the word gash for women too. Yes, duh. Yeah. What I've been sending him is like these are not taken care of. Like that is.
All right, Streamlabs, you made it.
Is not good. It's not like there's like they're unkempt. Manicure. Oh no, I've got a man.
All right. Yeah, we made it. We made it. We made it. StreamYards made it. Yeah, there you made it through. We made it through. All right, that was it. StreamYards got that far. Perfect. That. All right, let me see what else can I play. See what else can I get away with before StreamYards kills me. So, I'll play this other stuff here. Let me go back. So we're gonna have a meeting with Miss Hayes, maybe, and I heard like Ava dropped the ball on the Ron interview. So there's no Ron interview.
From their parents and pierced their tongues with
OMG.
They spoke their
So if you guys don't know, Ron was the landlord of the apartment that they were staying in, kind of like a townhouse, I guess, apartment. And they got they didn't renew the lease. Some rumors have been swirling that the landlord didn't want Ben there. Apparently, before let me play this first. Actually, I don't think you guys watched the Dead Man stuff. Some of you guys, so if you guys don't watch Dead Man, then okay, let me play this first so you get some context, better context. All right, okay. Let me see. Let's pray that this works.
Babe, I am feeling down. You see my dick? I get why men like doing that.
Mm.
It's just a way of saying, like, can I get some affirmation here for nothing?
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to say that's not.
It's not appropriate.
Don't sell yourself short. Grace?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm leaving you.
No, I'm going to struggle with chat. I'm fine.
Okay.
Seriously, take your time.
Yeah, you got it.
Sometimes I really just want to K-word him. I swear to God. I'm probably wrong, but like, it triggers me so much that we both get angry at Jeremy. And he turns to me and goes, you seem really invested in this. I just want to wring his fucking neck when he says shit like that. It's just like, we're not on the same page? Like, he pisses both of us off. You have to be better. You have to be more mature. Oh, yes. I never.
No, it doesn't help because the music runs in the back. So what I do is like my video goes through and pipes through their thing, so it doesn't matter. I can turn on and off the background. It won't change a thing. The background is running on their side. So whatever you do on my side is I'm just trying to play the video. So whenever I play the video, it seems it goes through to their server and then it craps out. It looks like every time I try to do that, it's crapping out. So there you go. But I made it through everything I could. Okay. Otherwise, that's it. And because the only other way is to do the screen share, right? I don't do the screen share because the screen share will make my computer like overheat. I just have a cheap laptop right here. So I have to get a desktop to do that. So the way the video works is like when you share the video directly to StreamYards, it has to go to their server. So I'm okay, so if I share the screen and play a video, then it takes more resources on my end. I'm using their resources instead of my resources. But it looks like their resources are fucked up right now. So every time I play it, it looks like it screws up and then it boots me. So it's like, oh, I guess you guys have a bandwidth problem. And it's not resolved today. So yeah, we could come back and do it later. But overall, the whole thing was Ron, they're kicked out, right? They basically didn't renew the lease. They're homeless now. They live in the RV. Ava and a lot of people want to interview Ron. Ron got scared. No interview. So we're trying to get an interview with Ron. He's scared. Ron, the landlord, actually streams, but he streams like his own stuff, like not Thorpe related, just racing, kind of like Grid 1 Motorsports. So he's kind of like a Grid 1 Motorsports, actually. He's a boomer Gen X, I guess, maybe. Boomer, kind of Gen X. And he's kind of like a Grid 1. It looks like he could be the next Grid 1, but he doesn't want to interact with us. I think he was actually, like Grace said, he goes to the Discord. And whenever Grace talks shit about him, he gets notified or something. So he has spies in their Discord, or like, I don't know. This is crazy shit, man. All right, I'll come back tomorrow. We could just talk about Gen X. Yeah. That's pretty much boomer. Yeah. Grace ran on a rant about that stuff too today, about generations. So yeah, I'll come back tomorrow. It's already 2 hours anyway. Maybe I have time to. Tough. You have to wait for tomorrow. Okay, with the IREN earnings. All right. So yeah, we'll see ya. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow or not. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if there's something important. Wait for the pre-market. Maybe something will happen. All right. Stay chill. Stay safe. Don't get the hantavirus. Laters.